How y'all are? This is your old buddy Tackleberry over here at the range. I'm working on another installment of my ongoing series. I have this old used gun, which is a ripoff of the NRA shows. I've got this, what is it? I have this old gun. Anyway, what we have today is the Winchester 1890 pump action 22 rimfire rifle in caliber, what caliber is this? 22 WRF, Winchester rimfire. And that's an interesting cartridge. You don't see it around much. I haven't seen a new gun chambered for it in years. It's this. It's almost the same length as a 22 Magnum, and but it's not tapered like a 22 Magnum. It has the same taper, which is none, as a 22 long rifle. It's just like a 22 long rifle, except it's longer. I'm pretty sure that 22 long rifles will work through this gun if I can get this gun to work like it's supposed to work. And it doesn't work just exactly like it's supposed to work. What it does is, years and years ago, the magazine tube for the gun was lost. So actually the current owner of this gun, I'm evaluating it to try and figure out what's wrong with it, and I figured out what's wrong with it. The replacement magazine tube that was ordered has this crimp on here that keeps the follower from jumping out. And that crimp is too deep and will not allow the rim of the cartridge to go past it, like this. It won't go past it because that crimp that's in there is too deep. So essentially it has become a, not a single shot, but a two-shot 22 lever action rifle. So I can actually get 2 rounds in it, and it'll work, kind of, maybe, kind of work. There we go. Now, because 2 rounds does not completely go up in there. When you put 2 rounds in it, there's one here on the carrier and one in the magazine tube, and a rim doesn't come to that crimp point in the magazine tube. This is a pretty good rifle. It works. The thing about it is, it works. It was probably made in the 1920s. 155 yards. The old steel groundhog. Let's see if we can hit it. And we hit it. Shucks them out good. Feeds the second one in okay. 14-inch steel plate, 155. Hit it. Shucks it out good, but that's all it'll hold, is 2. If I can get the correct magazine tube to go in it for the man, or we can find it and it be correct, then this rifle will be a real performer. As it is right now, it's a long-range 2-shot Derringer. Let's see if we can get 2 more in it. Try it again. You hear the term slam fire. It's another thing. This rifle doesn't have a disconnector in it. None of these guys do. What that means is, if you pull the trigger and you fire the gun, when you pull the trigger again, when you pull the trigger and fire the gun, if you continue to hold back on the trigger and pump another one up in it, it'll fire. Okay? That simply means the gun doesn't have a disconnector in it. And that means it was designed without one in it. Now, this rifle doesn't have a disconnector in it. Model 12 Winchesters, 37 Ithacas, Model 10 Remingtons. A lot of guns out there will do this, and it's designed that way. It's a design feature. You can pump it and it'll shoot it as fast as you can pump it. Let's put 2 more in it and see if we can get a little bit down the road with it. Just for ammunition for this thing is kind of expensive. They don't make as much of it as they make, say, 22 Magnum. So the ammunition for this is somewhere around $25 for 50. A little bit more expensive. This rifle is probably going to get turned over to a very good friend of mine, James Sparks, over in the next county, who is just an absolutely exemplar. That means he's real good. A really good firearms restorer. And let's see if we can't hit it one more up here. Tink. There's a good tink right there. Throws them out good. Loads them back in there good. Just the way it's set up right now, it can't hold very much. Tink. And a real good shooting rifle. That's the thing. Is in pretty horrible condition. There's no original bluing left on the gun. It's completely covered in rust. Even the butt plate is completely covered in rust. I've rubbed a little bit of it off with some gun oil and a green pad, but it still has quite a bit on it. There's very, very light pitting, over 100% of the gun, and but it works perfectly. And it's a real statement on the craftsmanship of yesteryear, that this gun is, oh my goodness, probably at least 90 years old, and it's an 1890 model. It may have actually been made in the 1890s, which would make it 120 years old. But it's still a real fine gun for all of the treatment that it's received over the years that's negative. Works good, works perfectly. Has the issue with the magazine tube, and that's all. Is an outstanding shooter and is going to make a real fine gun, finer gun, when it's refurbished. Let's try one more out. Let's try 2 more out of it just for the fun of it before we quit. This is CCI ammunition. It doesn't have any indication on it what the bullet weight is or what the velocity is. As a matter of fact, it's marked $6 at the end of the box, so it's got some age on it as well. Will not shoot a 22 Magnum. 22 Magnum is too large and won't chamber in it, which is how we come in the store the first time, was because they were trying to put 22 Magnums in it. There's not a whole lot to say about it other than that. This rifle's value as it stands right now is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $100. Refurbished. The thing about refurbishing an old gun is it's still an old gun. There are collectors out there that would prefer to have it in this condition than to have it in a new re-blued condition. So you have to be kind of careful about where you go to fix up old guns. This is a family heirloom, and the gentleman who actually owns this gun wants it to be refurbished. It's going to be refurbished. The customer is always right. But in the long run, this gun will probably be worth more in this condition than it will be in a new blued, reconfigured or refurbished condition. I can shoot a couple more out of it. I don't get to shoot a gun this old that often that works. Think. Now, if you like this sort of gun, it's interesting to note that Rossi, the South American gun company, Rossi purchased a manufacturing right from Winchester, oh, I don't know, back 40 years ago, and manufactured about 5 million of these things in various configurations, all of them in 22 long rifle. They would shoot shorts, longs, and long rifles. They made them in a little short 16-inch barrel gallery gun. They made them in a big long 22-inch barrel version like this. They made them in an intermediate, and they were all takedown guns like this one is. And I believe it was the Rossi Model 62. But it's just an exact manufactured under license copy of the 1890. And they're pretty cool guns. So anyway, there's your familiarization with a pretty cool old gun. And that's kind of what it's all about. You see one of these guys around, 9 chances out of 10 it's going to work. 9 chances out of 10 it's going to be a serviceable firearm, even give its age. They manufactured these guns from 1889 until 1929 or 1930. Long about the Depression, sporting arms production almost come to a complete halt. And then they didn't pick the design up again after World War II. But this gun is made, you know, this gun held Winchester instead for 50 years. This was a popular selling gun for 50 years. And it's still a pretty good gun. Well, all right then. That's about all for this installment of, hey, I got this old used gun. Like and share my old videos around. Something happened to me. Howlin' SARS gave me a shout out, and all of his buddies on the YouTube come over and visited my page and subscribed and shared and liked and viewed and all kinds of stuff. Kind of made me feel good. I'm trying to answer all the emails, and I'm trying to respond to all of the responses as time permits me to do it. And but if I haven't responded to you or whatever, don't feel bad. Thanks a lot for checking me out, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do it. Well, that's about the size of it. I got to go pick my nose now, and I don't want to do that on camera, so I'll see y'all later.